believe your lying eyes. Anyways, in the bottom right, the Queen of Blades getting proxy 2. Oh, God. From Team Newbie, the Canadian Zerg, Scarlet. And in the top left, building 2 barracks out on the map. My favorite Terran recently. We'll see if the chess master is able to come out on top. It is TY. So Scarlet usually does this, keeping her Overlord just outside of the natural instead of scouting for proxy racks. Just, are you proxy raxing me or not? This is essentially, well, I might not get vision early, but at least I'll have time to react. But TY, finding a location for a bunker doesn't actually really have, it's really throwing me off the fact that this is a string. Another bunker's on the way. A roach one from Scarlet. It looks like she's going to let the expansion go, potentially here. 2 gases. It's going to be a Ravager defense. Nearly a full wall. That might be a full wall, but it's not going to be incredibly relevant. The Overlord could be targeted. A Queen's going to attempt to escape. Run, quick! Run now! Okay, a creep tumor. TY not going to dive deep for the tumor. Will Scarlet attempt to defend? I don't think we can defend the hatch, right? The math isn't there on that. Is that possible? Are we going to wait till the hatch dies? Yeah, the hatch is gone. The roaches don't come out in time. Ravager's being built, and there's no way they're going to take too much damage. You got to be careful with that Overlord. TY realizes that his work here is done. A lot of damage being dealt. Oh, SCV's targeted. You got to be careful with those precious, precious Ravagers. Another Valley. Might lose 1 Ravager. 1 goes down. Another bunker, though. The scouting racks as well. At this point, time to just go home and cut your losses. The Ravagers are chasing down these very sad Marines who will pay for their transgressions. Building an expansion on the low ground is a pretty bold move here out of TY. Really going to rely on that Cyclone. But only 3 Ravagers, so realizing... This is a macro game now, by the way. This is TY trying to keep control of the match, but Scarlet taking it in stride. Scarlet, honestly, I think is one of the best at defending the proxy racks. She is very willing to just let the hatchery go. I think a lot of players kind of die on the altar of saving the hatchery. But Scarlet understands cutting your losses. Oh my god, that barracks providing vision for that Cyclone is such an incredible play here early on. And scouting the timing of the hatch. There is a lock onto the Queen, but... Ooh, nice save on that Ravager. Oh, what are you doing? TY. Ooh, the Cyclone goes down. Oh, Ravager dies. So, only 2 Ravagers survive. The barracks will scout the lair. An incredibly important scout. What a... Not really a weird game. But a very interesting one to start. So you see TY essentially giving up map control now in favor of throwing Scarlet off. Whereas Scarlet has opted for that heavy tech. Between going for, well, she's got 40 drones. Honestly, this went a little better for Scarlet than I think TY was hoping for. Especially with that follow-up attack with the Cyclone and Marines against the Ravagers. I think Scarlet, between all the Queens, like the creep spread, this Spire is going to hit at a really weird time because TY is just now getting his production up. There's no way, like, he can't really afford when he's pumping out SCVs and trying to get his Marine count up and starting those upgrades. You can't be building a bunch of turrets. It looks like TY was about to build one. There are strong suspicions here. Mostly looking for a Nidus, But if it's not a Nidus, a Spire is obviously the next thing on the table against a Terran player. So TY already understands the possibilities, but that doesn't... This is one of the few scenarios where essentially if you can attack with mutas, that's great. You can't always have that opportunity. That's why mutas are so rare in Legacy of the Void, especially in a quote-unquote standard game. But in this scenario where obviously Marine production is hamstrung, and production of medevacs is severely delayed, mutas can take map control, and Scarlet can run with that to both denying the third base, maybe getting some more economy yourself. The Roach one was spotted, but obviously roaches already existed. I don't know why that would be some sort of information here. Even if the mutas don't really kill much, the fact that they exist before TY is able to get out on the map gives Scarlet so much space. And Scarlet, well known for creep spread. The Queen Creeper. Creep spread a little bit harder to pull off with creep tumors not able to be canceled nowadays, but that's not going to affect much, especially against a player who didn't go Hellions or any of that early harass besides the proxy racks. 3 Marines, that's not enough. They're going to stim to just try to get away. Scarlet really using these mutas well. More roaches being built. I'm not sure what the roaches are for. Ooh, 1 trailing muta picked off. You do want to keep these alive. The threat of mutas is almost more important than the mutas themselves. Like, if these mutas die or Scarlet trades them, then TY can breathe easy and get out on the map. And that is something Scarlet cannot allow. An infestation pit. Is this for a rush to Hive? Or is it going to be infestors, like for fungal? Little early, I feel. But a Hive is on the way, especially considering TY is coming across the map now. There is no baneling speed being researched. TY is going to have 1-1. This is a power spike here for him. As he's got his... Oh, no. Oh, 2 mutas bitten off immediately. And one, like, 5 mutas is the minimum to be a real threat, because that's enough to one-shot SCVs. Now that the muta count is down to 4, it's really just an annoyance at best. This is a dangerous time for Scarlet. She's trying to go Hive, double upgrade, Ravager, Ling, and Baneling. And there are tanks on the way. These rocks, well, you don't want to be caught between a rock and a hard place. This choke point actually works in favor of TY once those tanks set up. TY has done a great job of putting together his army. He's really... I was saying that the mutas really kept map control, but the mutas are dead now. Scarlet coming in, trying to pick off some tanks. Gets 2. But are there enough units in any of these locations? The medevacs are out of energy here, which means many of these Marines will die. Scarlet, though, trying to do everything at once is really going to be a struggle. More corrosive biles up. Down goes the tank. Gets a medevac as a bonus. Scarlet desperately trying to hold on. TY is actually ahead in workers right now. The only advantage Scarlet's going to have is potentially... Well, there's Baneling speed finishing. Those rocks now, really a pain. If they had gone down, maybe Scarlet can come down this ramp. +1 melee, seconds from finishing. The Queen eating some shots. Brenda, no! Well, that one Queen driving all the Marines... Brenda saves the day! The sacrifices she made eating all those tank shots bought Scarlet a whole lot of time here. TY already 2-2 pumping out. Viper on the way. Adrenal glands. Have Zerg players discovered that that's actually just an incredible upgrade, or... I've been seeing a lot more usage of it in the last few weeks. So, I'd love to see more Zerglings in the late game. Why is there an SCV there? Dodged a corrosive bile. TY might be overstaying his welcome at this point. The rocks almost down to corrosive bile. And that'll open up an opportunity here. I feel like TY maybe should be thinking about retreating from this location. He's looking for a trade. Because this army is obviously... Yeah, okay. Backs off. Just as Scarlet looks to have this overwhelming army. I'm really excited to see how these Zerglings pan out. But Scarlet really doesn't have much more than a Zergling economy, to be honest. I'd love to see maybe some Corruptors as well to help deal with drops. Maybe half a dozen or so. Scarlet agrees. 2-2 is finishing up. More drones. Vipers on the field. Some blinding clouds or abducts. TY going to be finishing up 2-2. No reason not to attack. Another drop will be pushed away. The Viper's going to be absolutely key, especially dealing with this off-creep situation. The army is spotted. The Queen really going to try its best. There are 4 tanks, a whole bunch of 2-2 Marines, and a bunch of medevacs here. What kind of Viper usage are we going to be looking at? A drop comes out. This will be shut down, but the third base is under attack. Scarlet needs to hold on to this. Can't be losing drones at this stage, especially after just now rebuilding them. There's a parasitic bomb. Doing a lot of damage, but split off immediately by TY. Doing a good job with those medevacs. Vipers might want to recharge their energy before engaging here. Scarlet holding for now. The tank's in a nasty position to engage. +2 melee is closing in. Gonna help out a bit. Ultralisk Cavern is done. Remember, Adrenal Glands is done as well. Another Queen goes down, but here comes Scarlet from all angles. +2 melee finishing right as the fight starts. Blinding Cloud on 2 tanks. Maybe looking for some more at the back. The Vipers are falling, but the Blinding Clouds remove the tanks from the field. TY, though, holding his ground, and look at the supply. The 2-2 Marine Marauder, the tank positioning, absolutely devastating there. Scarlet going to be losing the third, and it looks like all the drones alongside. The Viper has no energy. Corrosive Bile is going to help a little. Knocks down a Liberator, but it's not enough. TY takes it home, and TY takes the match. Game number 1 will go his way. Just constant macro, just on top of the production. I really liked that game for Mutilating Bane for Scarlet. I was kind of surprised to see her go into, like, back into Roach Ravager as well as into a Hive. Maybe she thought she was in a little bit better position than she was. TY's macro is ridiculous. Overall, that was... it felt like, and we've seen this from Scarlet so many times. Give me time to set the players. Wow, they just jump in and start the game. Oh my god. Well, these players just want to keep going and going, but it just didn't quite come together. And TY showing why he's such a powerhouse Terran. Well, here we go. In the top right, Scarlet. Bottom left is TY. No SCVs out on the map. Yeah, I really don't feel like that game came down to the 2 racks. I felt... Then again, how many games have we seen of Scarlet where it's looking good, map control, decent drone count, and then... maybe we shouldn't be getting mutas, ravagers, triple upgrades, and a Hive all at the same time. Like, come, just simmer down just a little bit. But we'll see if Scarlet can rein it in a bit for game 2. I would love to see more Mutilating Baneling, but it is such a fragile unit composition. And not many players are very comfortable using it nowadays. Maybe some lurkers. Let's see some lurkers. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. I want to show good games to the fans. It's a great day for Starcraft and therefore the world. For those who don't know, by the way, the ESL Pro Tour was announced, and DreamHack Masters, the future of StarCraft esports for the next, not 1, not 2, but 3 years has been laid out, and it looks good. Between 6 major events and a world championship, I'm not sure if that's included in the 6 major events each year, between 2 for ESL and 4 for DreamHack, which is partially what was already happening, and weekly cups on each region. So if you're a Masters player or Diamond player, sign up. Next one's on Sunday. First one's on Sunday. I think I'm going to get into the trend of playing in them, and then when I lose, casting. That more than likely is going to be my strat. but we'll have to see. All the details will be coming out. Well, some of the details are out now, and more of the details very soon. Oh, TY, the SCV bully, boxing out the drone, and then the Reaper comes in to finish the job. What? A Marine out on the map. I think that was a little bit of a slip by TY. I don't know if he meant to bring that Marine out. Oh, no. He's building a bunker at the... You disgusting Terran... I mean, TY was one of the first players to use that scouting SCV in order to help block the third. God, this is so annoying. And Scarlet only made 4 Zerglings to start, and some of the Zerglings are out on the map. The worst. The worst. Is it going to be battlecruisers from TY? Wait, what? 2 Rex follow-up. Only 1 in guess. 2 Rex follow-up to a couple Hellions. This is like a semi-delayed 2-1-1. Very interesting here. Oh, the Zerglings come in. Looking for that mule. Will get it at the last second. Might be a little suspicious that there weren't more Hellions coming out. I'm not sure if that's enough to be suspicious about. Scarlet looks like she's going to be lining up for a Ravager timing, because there's no lair on the way. The Roach Horn is finishing up. There are 3 gases done. The thing is, this is kind of assuming, like, TY is a big fan of battlecruisers. I think everybody knows that. Like, it's a well-known fact that TY loves battlecruisers. This is not a battlecruiser build. This is a quick stim marine build. It's going to line up. Scarlet's timing is going to line up very poorly against this. Like, there's some potential. It really does depend on exactly where the medevacs are. But up against a player who's not going battlecruiser, like, against a battlecruiser, you want to attack and then you hit them right before the battlecruiser comes out, or when the battlecruiser comes out and kill all the SCVs. But in this case, once again, I think it's going to be a little suspicious that there are only 2 Hellions. Have the Roaches been spotted? I think a Roach was spotted there. But will the medevacs be going straight across the map? That's the question. Because that's going to get real weird real fast. 2 medevacs with stim marines. Now, they're not full. A scan spots the Roach more, and TY comes in. Oh, God, the panic button is hit. So how does this go? Scarlet is still building units. Those are stim marines. There's plenty. Well, the medevacs are huge in this. The boys have been pre-pulled. At this point, like, what does Scarlet do? Do you just go? I don't know. Like, this is not what you're expecting, but there is no tank. So there's some opportunity. The corrosive bow has forced some micro. Drones are being built. Scarlet definitely not going to be able to make too much out of this right now. Picking off some SCVs and whittling down the marine count is the best you can really hope for. Now, medevacs are also... Roach Ravager up against a medevac player really is not your ideal scenario, as we saw in the last game. Scarlet's going to be able to get those drones out, but... now we have to play whack-a-mole with the medevacs. It's such a pain. This is a decoy, by the way. This is a decoy for the 2 medevacs going to the natural. They just become so annoying so quickly. +1 carapace is finishing. There was no Overlord in position for this. Drones are going to die. Lair is only... the positioning is disgusting. Combat shields is done. The Roach Horn itself is under fire. Looks like it might not die here. TY just targeting Roaches and Ravagers. Corrosive bow forces a little bit of micro. Oh my God. 1 HP.
What a save!
Scarlet maintains a solid drone count. The focus fire on that Roach Horn, I think, has saved Scarlet to an extent. Now, she just has to... I'm sorry, I'm not biased. I swear, completely objective casting. I love TY too, so like... But... 70 drones. Okay, good. 70 drones. Stop. That's enough. 70 drones will cut it. Just focus on unit production. Focus on getting that tech out. I wouldn't mind a Hydralisk den. 1-1 is on the way for both sides. The important part here is the corrosive bow forces micro. That's the key point. Like, the corrosive bow doesn't necessarily hit anything. Maybe obviously sieged up tanks. But it forces the Marines to be microed instead of just sitting there firing off their guns that, for some reason, they fire faster when they do drugs. I can't explain that, but... Back at home, TY, despite holding this off strongly and having all these options, is in a bit of an awkward spot because Scarlet has not really been slowed down much between not even killing the Roach Warren, the Queens coming back to pay their respects, and their transfuses. I think Scarlet playing a little safer this game in terms of the tech and drone count, but it's going to be very difficult to maintain much creep spread against these medevacs. There's really just nothing to deal with them. TY, any amount of Marines he loses from the medevacs is very helpful to Scarlet. Armory will be finishing already, well before even, well, not well before, almost perfectly to get the 2-2 upgrades, of course. It's TY. Every Marine that dies is a smaller thorn in the side. There's a double medevac drop with a hurt medevac to lead the charge. This probably will kill the Roach Warren. Scarlet completely out of position for this. This is a very strong drop. Drones will die. Why are you at 80 drones, Scarlet? God! Calm down! Anyways, a nice positioning there for the Marines. +1 Carapace is done, so the Zerglings aren't completely useless. The Roach Warren will be killed. That may encourage Scarlet to stop building Roach-based units, which would be good. A scan. The Hive is done. That's going to put TY in panic mode. 3 Vipers on the way. TY's going out on the map. He realizes, I either go now or I'm going to go never. Because if Hive Tech kicks in, it's going to be very difficult. Even if it's just Vipers and Adrenal Glands, it's going to be very difficult to deal with a 4+ base Zerg. The rest of TY's army is coming across, and honestly, I don't know if Scarlet's going to be ready to defend the fort. This base is spotted. The Queen will sacrifice herself for the cause. +2 Carapace is not done yet. I think the drones have to be pulled. I don't know if they're saving this base. At least not for now. This is the big weakness. The big weakness of going for that Ravager Ling. Scarlet's going to try to go for the save. The base will be targeted at the last second. Whittle Mines connect. The tanks can be taken out. So the base goes down. A drop comes in. Drop is smashed between the Spores, Queen, and Spine. Scarlet will lose the 4th, but has another one, and this one has a rich Vespine Geyser. TY sending out the drops. It's drop o'clock right now. Scarlet is struggling to deal with drops on either side, but maintaining a solid economy and tech. This base ain't gonna make it. Canceled, rebuilt. Oh, that drilling clause is done. I don't think Scarlet realized that. There's going to be a drop coming into the natural. The Zerglings are good, but that's a whole lot of Marines and Marauders. The Spine Crawler trying to move into position. Scarlet scrambles back to the other side. There's still a drop on the left as well. TY getting more and more cost effectiveness. Drilling claws connect. Another big hit on the Zerglings. Corrosive Bile gonna get rid of it. But the drop comes in again. Are the Ravagers enough? Yes. Another Queen assassinated. Parasitic Bomb doing a lot of damage to these medevacs. There are 2 Parasitic Bombs. It doesn't kill them in 1 hit, right? Am I right? Yes. It does 120 damage, and medevacs have, oh my god, a 3 HP medevac. They have more than that HPs. They have 150 HPs. So Scarlet has scrambled back and forth, but held on strongly. This time Scarlet had the units she needed. TY not able to break through. But TY does have a 4th, and TY does have a 5th. The Macro God. Scarlet getting a Spire now. Establishing the creep spread. How many Vipers are we at? 3 Vipers. There's no Overlord speed, but hopefully there are Overseers. Plenty of Banelings on the way. But TY, he hasn't stopped. He's been building up. He's got 38 Marines, actually less than I thought he would. There's a drop. Oh, Drilling Claws, 11 kills! And there's still 1 Widow Mine. He keeps 1 in reserve, but the entire army comes back. You don't want to be off the map for this. Another hit, 18 kills. TY actually not quite taking this opportunity as well as he could have to get on the map. But still, these drilling claws mines being a complete annoyance. Oh, there's another one in the corner. The thing is the army ready to fight? Chitinous plating. Oh, parasitic bomb! Kills 1, 2, 3 medevacs. Another one as well. If you actually target the high HP one, they'll carry the bomb even further. Wait, that medevac went down too. Dun 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 dun. Widowmine's doing a lot, but Ultralisk, Big Daddy's coming home. That doesn't solve the problem of the drops. But it does solve the problem of Marines existing anywhere on creep. And Ultra Speed Usain Boltralisks are on the way. We got another parabomb. TY trying to draw the Zerg army away, but it won't be deterred much longer. So many Banelings! 33 more Banelings on the way. Widowmines gonna get involved. Oh, 1 Ultra. How much can it take? +3 Carapace is done. That is a fully upgraded Ultralisk. It can take a pounding. The only thing it doesn't have is +3 melee, but they shrug off. Even the Widowmines are nothing compared to this. Is there a parasitic bomb? There is. 1 Ultralisk. No, not even close. Is that 1 HP? I think it had 1 HP at one point. Corrosive Bile almost kills the Ultra. It shrugs it off. TY driven back again. Scarlet holding the line. Greater Spire's on the way. Still 75 drones. Is +3 melee starting? No, but less and less being done by these TY attacks. There's no Ghost Academy. And there's no Liberators being produced. Are there any Liberators? No, you don't want to use Banelings on Rush. No Liberators, no Ghost. Wait, I lied. 6 Ghosts on the way. Ultras have kind of a timer. If you don't get damage done to the Terran infrastructure and or economy, eventually they get countered, especially a player like TY. He's had to scramble this game just because of the scenario early on. But overall, he's one of the best at dealing with late game Zerg. A drop's coming into the north side. Scarlet didn't really leave any units to defend here. She's going to be barreling forward with the attack. 32 Zerglings coming in to reinforce. A couple Spine Crawlers will buy time, but I don't think Scarlet's retreating from this one. Snipes come out. First Valley. Will there be some abducts of the ghosts? We'll have to see. EMP? No EMP yet. Blinding Cloud is used. This base is gone. Scarlet is expanding to the right side as well. Reinforcing Zerglings. A bit of a disjointed move from TY from both sides. The ghosts are holding the high ground. The tank's firing. Some snipes come off. Is it enough? TY, Scarlet driving through at the same time as TY is tearing up the bases. Scarlet trying to get the Ultras. The last Ultra will be taken out. Corrosive Bile's doing damage, but the reinforcing Terran units mean that Scarlet... Oh no. Ultralisks are just not the unit you want to be chasing through the streets here, despite the legacy, not the Heart of the Swarm cinematic. Scarlet has lost a bunch of drones. She's lost how many Ultras? 5 Ultras. And TY has lost a base and some SCVs. That's a lot of Ghosts to be losing here. Ghosts are not bad against Zerglings in and of themselves, even without any sort of snipe or anything like that. Oh no. Scarlet. She went too far. The drop, finally, TY found an opportunity. Suddenly, TY now has the more cost-effective army. A Greater Spire was built, but there's not the money for it. 66 drones is not a booming economy. Oh, no. I don't think Scarlet expected TY to have this base either. She might be working off... Okay, well, I lost a lot, but down to 3 bases. I'm just now retaking it forward. No, that's not the case. TY... Oh, will Scarlet try to defend this? The spread is so good. The potential for disaster is so high. The Widowmine spread... there's not enough. EMPs come through. Scarlet thinned out. TY holding the line! And Terran it all up. TY, the patience, waiting for his moment, moving his pieces into place. And Scarlet will be knocked out. Ultralisks again. They feel so good, but sometimes they're just so bad. Here's the graph. Oh, God.